A sincere and genuine happy National Tight Ends Day to you all. I ask again, are the Raiders for real? There is a lot to talk about. I feel kind of disgusting at the end of an average Sunday, but I feel especially disgusting after a Sunday with that many crappy football games. So let's go around the room here, because I know we want to talk about Man Campbell. We were all very excited because Man Campbell was creeping up on McVay, and he was creeping up on Matt Stafford. Billy, how hard were you rooting at the end of that Rams game for Man Campbell with all his onside kicks and all his fake punts trying to sneak one out?
I thought this was the week. Every week I think is the week for Man Campbell. Next week's the week, though. I have a good feeling about it.
They had a lead. Didn't they have a lead for the first time today, the Lions? That's pretty impressive.
First time on
they
all
did.
season.
Yeah. He outsmarted McVay for like a quarter. It was amazing to see. It really was.
He's also better looking than McVay.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
You can make an argument.
I said it. I think I did.
Put it on the poll, Billy, at LeBatard Show. Is Man Campbell more handsome than McVay? Stugotz was saying that he doesn't want to do bad beats anymore. He knows that Scott Van Pelt has planted his flag there. So what is it that you want to do, Stugotz?
It's kind of on the heels of something Mike Ryan was saying off air earlier about the Packer game. Dan, we do bad beats all the time. I understand why, and you're right. Van Pelt has that. He's claimed it. It's his. I want to do like wonderful wins or something like that, because I had the Packers for a lot of money today. They had no business covering that spread. I'm not even certain they had any business winning that game, and yet they did. And so, I think we should start doing that, like wonderful wins as opposed to bad beats, you know?
Didn't they cover easily? What, just like interceptions in the end zone and stuff that happened at the goal line? Like, it felt like they were winning by double digits that whole game.
They were in the red zone 1,000 times and didn't score. I mean, Mike, go ahead.
That entire game was played inside the Packers red zone. I have no idea how the Packers not even just covered. They should have been blown out. Stugotz is exactly right. So many things went wrong for the Washington football team in this game. Every time they would check in, it was inside that 15-yard line.
Jessica, why were you fixated on that Giants-Carolina game that made me, it started my Sunday especially sad?
The old baseball score.
It's one of those games that, if it never happened, no one would ever know or ever say anything. It just kind of came like a ship at nighttime, passing in the dark.
That doesn't answer my question at all. Why are you yes, very poorly said. Were you surprised that I asked you a question there? I don't understand why you were fixated on that game. I long for the days when the Broncos in Carolina were 3-0. All they've done is lost
better times.
Lost all their games since. Stugotz, you must be happy that Sam Darnold stinks.
I mean, I told you he was going to stink. That's what Sam Darnold is. Yeah, once they started playing good teams, I was confident Sam Darnold would look like Sam Darnold of the Jets. And he looks like Sam Darnold when he played with the New York Jets. It was so fun to see it happen at MetLife Stadium. It was great. It brought back great memories.
What are you shaking your head about, Tony?
The Giants are not a good team. Like Stu's saying, when Sam Darnold plays good teams, the Giants are 1-5 or now 2-5, but they're horrible.
Yeah, but the last 3 weeks before this week, they played good teams. He got off to a good start, 3 bad teams. Then they played 3 good teams, and the downhill slide started, and it just carried over to today. He's not good. I have no idea if Zach Wilson's any good, but I know Sam Darnold's not.
Great Mike, grab what are you shaking your fists about?
We got Scorigami. I love you all. Scorigami. For the first time ever, we have a final in a game that ended 31-5, right? Wait,
there you go.
Yeah, 31-5. Cardinals, Texans. Cardinals run out the clock, don't score, and we have Scorigami. And you know what that means, Dan? A chuggy. I'm going to be right back.
Yes. Chuggy is what he said.
Yeah, it
right?
sounded. Yes, you're absolutely right. Thank you, Chris, for making that clarification.
Not a chubby.
But it's also that. I think it's both of those.
And then he said, "Be right back."
Aren't popular anymore, right?
Stugotz said when they play good teams, and you were right to call him out on that, Tony. The thing that's alarming that is happening, and I'm sure that Billy and Stugotz are going to gloat on this, is that when the Chiefs play good teams, they don't look great. And I don't know what that was today. They were allowing pressure to 4 guys all game. I don't know how Patrick Mahomes passed the concussion protocol. Like, they were carrying him off the field at the end of that game because he took a knee to the face.
I owe Stugotz and I owe Billy Gill, the Duke, an apology of the highest orders. Okay, because when they started saying something was wrong with the Chiefs when they were like 2-1, or when they were 1-0, I was like, these guys don't know what they're talking about. The Duke, this guy doesn't even watch football half the time. He's watching baseball. Like, I don't listen to these guys. I don't believe these guys. All of a sudden, there's something wrong with the Chiefs, and I owe them a major apology.
Well, that's the worst game I've seen them play, Super Bowl included, but at least I understood in the Super Bowl why it is that was happening. They were missing all of their offensive linemen in that game. I don't understand what I just saw, which was Patrick
Something's
Mahomes.
Yeah.
Say again, Billy?
Something's off, just a bit.
Yeah.
It is.
Just a
little
off.
bit, Dan. Just a little
Slightly.
bit. Yep.
They're almost there. If something changes slightly, they'll be clicking on all cylinders. But for now, slightly off.
That was, I mean, for me, and I think for everyone, that had to be the biggest shock of the weekend, to see that quarterback, that offense play like that against anybody. I don't care who they're playing. To play like, because he's never played like that. They've never played like that. And Kelsey was frustrated, and Mahomes started to get frustrated. And so I'm going to have a difficult time explaining that one day. And like, I don't think anyone can explain that, except maybe the offensive line is a lot different than it was a couple of years ago. Maybe. I have no idea.
I think, Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the best game today was Dolphins-Falcons, and you had your soul crushed. At the end of that game, first of all, Tua did apart from 2 terrible plays, and they were terrible plays, Tua played very well, at least in part because Atlanta stinks at pass rush. Like, they're really bad, and even against that offensive line, they still stink at pass rush, and he played very well. But then Matt Ryan, and this happens so much in that league now, where the precision is such that it's confounding to me how these people can be this precise. They had a pressure situation on Matt Ryan. A blitzer came free, untouched. Pitts was covered by Dolphins' highest paid defender, highest paid cornerback in the league, doing his job well. And it wasn't even that Pitts was better because Pitts was covered. It's that Matt Ryan threw a perfect football to finish the Dolphins.
This Dolphins team, man. That's why I joined the Chargers. Okay, guys. I mean, Tua, he's Ryan Tannehill. Can I just say that? Like, if we stick with Tua, we're going to have Ryan Tannehill situation.
What?
He's Ryan Tannehill. He's going to be a middle of the road quarterback. Tony, you were just
Ryan Tannehill might have the best team in the AFC. Let's just be real with that. They just beat the Bills. They just beat the Chiefs. Like,
Chris, Ryan
really
Tannehill had MVP chance today.
right.
I'm just okay, but like, nobody thinks of Tannehill as an elite quarterback. My point is that the
He's saying
Dolphins
Tannehill.
I'm just saying, like, we're doing this again. What we're doing right now, we're gonna do with Tua for the next 4 or 5 years, because he just seems to be in that space. I mean, he's still only played a season's worth of games, so he could be better. You know, if he stops making stupid. The thing that's frustrating with Tua is if it could just be the first drive, every drive, is that possible?
No, I'm glad you brought that up. I want to see if you're with me on this. I think they need to do that. I think they need to replicate the opening drive right down to the smallest thing. Like, they need to go back into the tunnel. There needs to be a pregame speech. They come out, they do the coin toss. They have scripted plays. That needs to every time. The
national anthem.
Yeah, they need to start the game over again for Tua. Yes. But Chris, he played great today.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Would Tua be Joe Montana if he only played first drives?
It's such a good point. Mike was saying earlier, it's like, who is calling plays for this team? It's pretty crazy because, like, I feel like he has 7 people in his headsets when he's talking between plays.
But he played very, very well today. Like, he had 4 touchdowns. He led them on a late drive. Like, he did the things you wanted him to do. That's not on Tua today. That's on the defense. That's on That's on other people. It's not on Tua. You can't put that on Tua. And Devontae Parker's not there. And I'm not saying he's great, but he's a good weapon to have for the Dolphins. He wasn't there. Tua played well.
Who the hell's calling plays for the Dolphins?
I don't know.
Great question.
I thought we were set, and then Dave Hyde came out this week and said, "Aha! It's actually been Charlie Fry for the first 4 weeks." And
What?
that was a surprise.
No.
There was actually Omar Kelly. He actually did a pretty good thread on where the Miami Dolphins have supported Tua, whether it be hiring coaches that he handpicked, trying to put weapons around him. It really stinks that not only do you have the Herbert conversation, but now it looks like you have the Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, or Kyle Pitts, or Penei Sewell. There seem to be like 3 Hall of Famers that the Miami Dolphins could have had the pick of by just staying put. And instead, you have this Jalen Waddle thing, but they have tried to support Tua. Just check out that Omar Kelly thread. Unfortunately, it's kind of failed. And today, while he played well, he made the disaster play. And now it seems like it's a 2-horse race between Carolina and Miami on the services of Deshaun Watson, who Mike Garafolo reported saying he's not going to end up on the commissioner's exempt list until this legal situation plays out. So now the Panthers are all of a sudden super in on Deshaun.
Mike, me and Billy were discussing, because we talk a lot of football these days. God bless football. We were saying that perhaps the Chiefs would want to get in on those talks, on the Deshaun Watson talks. I mean, did that guy play today? Whoa.
Jessica is ready to fire the first coach of this
Serious?
season.
Ooh.
She is
Ooh.
ready to do it. She is ready to officially announce that a coach should be fired this evening.
Andy Reid.
Don't let Matt Nagy back in Hallis Hall. Do not let him
Yes.
back. Don't let him
Yes.
back within the city limits of Lake Forest, Illinois.
Preach.
I
Just
love
leave him
how
in Tampa.
I love how late in that third quarter they're down 35-3, and the Bears make a goal line stand, and Romo's like, this says a lot about the Bears, and I'm just like, this doesn't say anything.
He's got
about
to say something, Chris.
Did you see how pumped?
Tom Brady scored like 3 touchdowns in the first 8 minutes of the game. It was so bad. Like, everyone knows their offense stinks. Their offensive line is terrible. Justin Fields has been getting no favors from the offensive line or any of the skill position players. But now even the defense is playing bad.
You could
Nagy
sleep
was-
well tonight, though, because of
Nagy
that
was
stop.
he was so pumped to get it too. Did you see he covered his mouth when he said F yeah? He covered his mouth so we wouldn't see. He was so fired up that they didn't score 40 on that play.
But he's right that it does say a lot about the
come
Bears.
on.
And what it says about the Bears is that they were down 35-3 instead of 42-3.
That game was so boring for Nance and Romo that they were just talking gibberish for the third quarter.
They were talking over each other. It was crazy.
It sounded like just 2 guys at the bar catching up after a long business trip. It was so bizarre.
Wait, can we talk about Tom Brady's 600th touchdown
Yes.
pass that Mike Evans handed to a fan? And then the fan apparently gave it back for like another football and a signed
Idiot.
jersey or something.
There was like a
Idiot.
handshake. I saw a
Idiot.
handshake. It's like, oh wait, no.
That's a
This ball-
$250,000 ball.
I am holding on to that thing like
At the
high
very
and
least.
tight.
At
High
the
and
least.
tight. You know how they
I'm
teach it, high
starting.
and tight.
What? Cody, what are you starting negotiations at? Like, are you because like if you start
Brady's
at 100,
ATM code.
you're probably going to come down, right? So you got to start really high.
I'm starting at I'll be in the locker room after the game to talk to Brady and we can discuss it.
That's
where
good.
I think that's where I'm starting. Like,
That's
okay, I'll
good.
be in. Me and my friend, we'll be there after the game. Where should we be? What gate?
So you want a face-to-face meeting with Tom Brady
Yeah.
to start negotiations.
To
What if
start,
they say,
exactly.
no, you can only talk to Bucks PR? Are
Or
you like,
maybe
no,
I-
I'm
Too
keeping
bad.
it?
He has the
Maybe I keep
ball.
the ball.
Or I
Yeah.
pick like the nicest
Oh.
brunch spot. Or I pick like the nicest brunch spot in Tampa. I'll be like, all right, meet me there Monday morning at around 10:30 a.m.
You don't take the ball, obviously.
No.
Smart.
That
Smart.
stays somewhere
Exactly.
I bring
Right.
a
The
safe-
ball
it's in a
stays somewhere
safe.
else. Yes.
I
College
know.
for at least 4 generations.
I know
would say.
600 was super impressive because no one's hit 600, but are we going to do this with every touchdown ball afterwards? Because
Yeah.
Mike Evans threw 601 into the stands, and that
Mhm.
person got to keep his, and that's
And
actually the
604.
record ball.
Yeah.
No
I
one
think
cares
this-
about 601.
Well, but
Yeah.
I just think this is a good learning lesson for the person who catches his 1200th ball when that makes
yes.
an appearance when he's 75 years old. I believe that nobody will make that mistake again. Billy, if you had gotten that ball, the 600th ball,
Yeah.
what would you have done?
I'm telling. Well, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I would look for security, but I don't know that security would be helping me. I'd probably have to leave, right? But I'm telling you, negotiations. At least 4 generations in my family are getting college taken care of by Tom Brady.
Ooh.
Starting point. At least 4 generations, and then we can see from there where we go.
Are you going to be okay withstanding the public pressure of being greedy guy denying, because when this has happened in the past, the people who endure the public shaming don't enjoy that so much with, memorable home run balls.
Because poor Tom Brady doesn't have enough in his life. He needs an extra football. Please get out of here. A little suspicious he wants the ball back too. We don't need to get into that.
Is it true that Matt Stafford passed John Elway on the all-time TD list today? That doesn't seem like it should be right.
I believe he tied Elway off the top of my head. I know Elway had 300, and if he had 2 today, he tied him. So yeah, Matthew Stafford, as prolific a touchdown passer as John Elway.
He needs to be taken out of the Hall of Fame then. If Matthew Stafford ties you, you get out of the Hall of Fame.
It's so crazy. You're going to have average, I want to say, you're going to have good quarterbacks having better stats than some of the all-time greats, and you're going to do it very, very quickly. It's not a terrible idea taking some of these guys out of the Hall, actually.
There should be a limit of people in the Hall. Right. Every time someone comes in, someone has to come out. So as soon as you vote someone in, you're also voting somebody out.
It might be accurate that Stafford has more touchdown passes than John Elway, but it's not right. It's Dan,
think about how many games the Lions have played from behind. It really makes a lot of sense when you think about it. He's just slinging garbage time touchdowns left and right in the AFC North for most of his career.
I want to ask you guys something because you mentioned Carolina. It's not a coincidence, right, that these reports are coming out before the trade deadline on Deshaun Watson, and Ian Rappaport is saying that there's more than one team interested. And if it's not Carolina, it might be Philadelphia. So you might actually have a bidding war. And I can't tell you how wrong that feels. The idea that we're just shrugging on our shoulders on the idea that you're going to trade anything for an alleged sexual predator, never mind giant chunks of your future. But I want to say you can't do that, but we're talking about it because legally you can do it. Innocent till proven guilty is a legal standard. It's not a football standard. And you heard me say last week that if all of football got out of the morality business entirely, I'd be fine with it because I don't believe that they're equipped to do that. But since they're in the morality business, how the bleep can you be trading for an alleged sexual predator? And then worse than that, doing so with the intention of being less moral about it than the Texans, who have ruined their season because they're like, we can't play this guy. We cannot have this in our huddle. The idea, it's deeply offensive. It's beyond sad and troubling. It's deeply offensive that this league run by men are going to create a bidding war for an alleged sexual predator with 22 or 23 cases, and God knows how many more that haven't come forward. I don't understand how it is this cavalierly that we can find ourselves in a position where this seems like it's going to happen this week. And worse than that, it seems like someone desperate is going to try to play him if he doesn't end up on the exempt list.
Well, it's not the reason it's not a problem for the NFL right now, Dan, is because yes, he's on a roster, but there was absolutely, as you pointed out, no threat to play. But if someone trades for Deshaun Watson, and it looks like it will happen this week, and I'm totally with you, this shouldn't be going on at all. But if someone trades for him, then there is going to be a threat of him actually playing. And what the NFL does and how they handle that is going to be fascinating. It's going to be fascinating to see what they do. And I'm surprised, Brian Flores has always been character guy. I'm surprised that the Dolphins are this entrenched on Deshaun Watson. They are it. They want Deshaun Watson in the worst way.
It doesn't make him, Stephen Ross wants him. It doesn't make him less of a character guy if his owner just says, well, this is what it is. I've been listening to you and I've given you 6 games this season and you just lost to the Falcons at home and you gave the Jags their first win of the season. I'm confused at the reports that state that Deshaun Watson would play, because I thought this was what the NFL commissioner's exempt list was made for. right? These murky gray areas where there seems to be a substantial amount of evidence out in the public, but you also kind of have to let the legal process play out. You just stick him on this list. They invented it for reasons like this, and the reports out that say that he wouldn't be on that and he'd actually play make this kind of a standalone example in NFL history, I believe.
You're going to get a situation here where desperate teams like the Eagles, like Carolina, like the Dolphins end up raising the price on this. And I don't know how it is that you end up in a situation where you saw what happened with Jameis Winston and one accuser. You saw that Colin Kaepernick is not in the league anymore because of what he did. And the idea that the news coverage was filled today, I don't know if you guys heard this during the Dolphin game, right? Like, this is a shrug your shoulders situation on, like, well, it looks like Deshaun Watson is going to end up somewhere and somebody's going to give up 3 first-round picks for him. Anyway, let's move on that Dolphin game. Yes, Billy.
Well, I was going to say that there might not be a bidding war for him, right? Because he has a no trade clause. So, like, Philadelphia already said he doesn't want to go there. So they can offer whatever they want. He can just say, no, I'm not going there.
And I'm sure one of the odd things that aren't being reported is draft picks can be traded, but they can also be conditional. We see that all the time, and we don't hear anything about the conditions surrounding these draft picks. All you hear is 3 first-round draft picks, and the Texans are calling teams now saying you have to top the Dolphins' offer. What if all these draft picks are conditional pending this investigation?
Billy, you want to make the argument on behalf of Tua?
He was good today. Was he not good today? He looked good. He's looked good 2 weeks in a row. Was he not good?
I mean, he had a few
He's not
really
the
bad.
Dolphins' problem.
He has a couple throws a game though, where you're like, you see the replay after from behind him, and you're like, what was he thinking?
Did you see the 4 that he threw into the end zone for touchdowns? He missed those.
Mahomes had some bad passes today, Chris.
He's not the problem. That's what I mean. We can just replay a conversation we had about Tannehill like 6 years ago and just air that in this Tua conversation if you guys want.
I mean, if I'm Andy Reid, I may be looking to Miami. If there's a no trade clause there for just you know what I mean?
Can we talk about that game and what's happening with the Chiefs? And I think every time we talk about the Chiefs, we just kind of assume that they'll figure it out, but they're backsliding in a really bad way. They're getting worse. They should have won that game given the injury situation of the Tennessee Titans, because what the Chiefs do well, presumably, is attack teams deep, and the Titans were super susceptible to that. And it was just a boat race. It was ugly. Mahomes looks clumsy. He got V-triggered in this game. It was really scary. And I'm genuinely concerned. This isn't sports radio or anything like that. I have my doubts that they'll make the playoffs right now. They're just not a good football team.
The other thing that's weird too is, like, did the league just find out if you play just deep cover 2, you can't get a touchdown from Tyreek Hill for 85 yards, and all of a sudden everybody's doing it and now it works? Like, is that just something brand new, or is there something different that maybe we're not seeing from the broadcast perspective, that they're shutting down all these lanes?
We'll have to get someone on this week to explain to us what it is that's going on with the Chiefs, because I do believe it's the biggest conundrum that you've got. It's one thing for your defense to be bad. Their defense is bad, but the Titans have 18 guys on injured reserve, and they were missing their secondary. And the Titans kept getting pressure with 4. Again and again, they kept getting pressure with 4.
But Dan, we keep doing this. It seems like we keep doing this for the Titans, where they've been in an AFC Championship game recently, last couple of years. Like, they've been deep in the playoffs the last few years. Best running back, maybe the best player in the league, 2 good wide receivers, a quarterback who's solid, a pretty good coach. Like, we keep, like, Tennessee could win the Super Bowl. No one would be surprised. You shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but it's the 3 points. It's the 3 points from the Chiefs, and it's the Titans are injured. Like, that's not even their team. 18 guys out is a third of your damn roster. Like, it's a third of your roster on the injured reserve. Like, the Titans should have been a 4-point underdog at home just because of how injured they were. And I think the thing that's baffling there is the 3 points. That's what, like, in the Super Bowl, they look bad and we understood it. 3 or 4 offensive linemen are out and Mahomes is running around in circles. But another thing you're noticing is that Mahomes doesn't look quite as fast, as athletic. He doesn't, like, he's still obviously athletic, but he doesn't look the same in a number of different ways. And when Mike is talking about them at 3-4 and not looking very good against good teams, you are looking at something that seems unimaginable, right? The Bucks look like we assumed the Chiefs would look. The Bucks sit there and the Bucks didn't seem like they played well today. Tom Brady was up 21-0 and then thrown for 51 yards, and he was up 21-0 because they can beat you a number of different ways. The idea that Brady is still doing it and that Mahomes could have a game like that is it's a little bit baffling.
Mahomes is slowing down.
Kind of does feel like the Bucks have been sleepwalking this entire season. Even if when you look at their best result of the season was probably that Thursday nighter against the Cowboys. Cowboys should have won that game because of the turnover battle. The Bucks played sloppy. We still haven't seen like the best possible game. I guess today was pretty good, but we've also seen the Bears look really terrible. I don't know how to judge them, but Bucks have the highest ceiling in the NFL. They seem better than they were last year just because I haven't seen them play their best game yet.
I don't know if Arizona has the highest ceiling in the NFL, but we won't believe that they can.
Ceiling talk.
We won't believe that they can.
So many teams with ceilings, Dan. Very high ceilings this year. Don't forget the Cowboys.
Have the Cardinals surpassed their ceiling though? Like, did they break through the ceiling?
They're in the attic.
No.
Put it on the poll, Guillermo. Have the Cardinals broken through their ceiling? Wait a minute. The attic is before the ceiling. So you think are they in the chimney?
Isn't the roof?
The roof is the ceiling.
The roof is the ceiling is the roof.
The ceiling is the roof,
according
to Jordan.
Yeah.
No,
I've got the
outside.
I've got the attic
inside.
being above the ceiling.
No,
Yeah, what if you had an attic?
It's attic, fiberglass. No.
Fiberglass.
So are they in the fiberglass?
Fiberglass in the attic. Yeah, you got.
Let's get to the bottom of this. Hold on. Is it the roof or the ceiling? Is the
Well,
roof?
the roof's
Those are not
outside.
synonyms.
The ceiling's inside. So if you're on the first floor, you have a ceiling, and then you have a second floor, and then you have another ceiling.
Let's all look
and then
up
you
right
have
now.
Fiberglass, and then you have the roof.
Michael Jordan said the ceiling is the roof,
Yes.
and he's the GOAT.
But
so
the sky's the limit, right? The sky.
Yes.
Well,
Always.
Yeah.
but sometimes you reach
perhaps
for the stars.
perhaps for Arizona. Yeah, the sky might be the limit. Also, Cliff Kingsbury looked like COVID did a number on him. Did you guys see it?
That's how he looks with a week off, Mike.
Did you see it? There was a haze. There was a questionable field goal decision that I wasn't used to see him. Like, he kicked a field goal on third down with 9 seconds left, and they just cut to his eyes. There was just a lot of redness and puffiness, and I've slotted him now below LaFleur and Stefanski in my Zaddy rankings.
No.
of NFL.
Wow.
Yeah, you knocked it
Was
off.
he one?
He's the
Stefanski's
third most
too
Zaddy.
high.
Third most
What?
Zaddy. No, Stefanski.
No.
Look at this. No,
That beard.
Stefanski's
That
a big
beard.
user of losing
No,
mass,
it's
I think.
no. You have to see the post game speech where Dearness Johnson got. I'm sure you've all seen it. Where he got the
Yes.
game ball. Look how cut Stefanski is. That shirt is just hugging that body. Stefanski low key. Because he doesn't put it all out there with Cliff Kingsbury. Like, that guy is just overcompensating for something. Stefanski, quiet confidence,
Wait a
and he's
minute.
got a chiseled body.
What are you accusing Kingsbury of? What is he
Small wiener.
overcompensating for?
Whoa.
What are you accusing him of?
Well, I mean, look at his bona fides when he got in the league. I
His
mean,
boner fights.
Hey-o.
The internet is telling me that attics are the space between the roof and the ceiling of the
Yes.
highest floor of a house.
Exactly. Ceiling, attic, fiberglass roof. I mean, that's the way it works.
Billy, are you willing to
Fiberglass.
put Man Campbell somewhere above? Are you willing?
I'm telling you, Stefanski doesn't do it for me. I think he was the big loser of everybody losing masks. There was something about his eyes. Now when you see his full face, it's kind of like, yeah, he's got a beard, he's got a good job, but it's just, I miss the mask on him a little bit.
He was better looking when you couldn't see his mouth. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, you didn't
I
want
don't
to,
know
you
if
didn't want to
it's the
see it
mouth.
all.
There's something about the lower half of his face that just, I don't know.
Stugotz is better looking when you can't hear his mouth. You have said, Stugotz, you have said that today marks the last day in a decade where you will be able to get the Bengals plus 6.5.
That team's fixed. I mean, that's it. You'll never get them at 6.5 plus 6.5 again. I mean, Burrow is absolutely incredible. Dan, they fixed their team 2 drafts. I keep saying it. With Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, the team's fixed. Mixon's a good running back. Like that defense is really good. And the division's not great. Like they're good. Give them some credit. They're good.
I will give them some credit, and I will do a sports talk radio thing. Jamar Chase is not the rookie of the year. He's the MVP.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
He is the MVP. When you look at the stats, when you see how that team has changed just by him being in it, Jamar Chase right now, I think should be MVP.
Imagine how good he'd be if they had college-sized footballs in the NFL too.
Wow, with the stripe.
With the stripe.
The stripe is
Tony has proclaimed that Chase is as good as Jerry Rice. Now, keep in mind, this is coming from the maker of, I think that Jalen Hurts is really, really good, but still, he is saying that Jamar Chase is Jerry Rice.
He's wrong.
Well, let me say something, okay? I know the two and Jalen Hurts discussion. We'll shelf that for another day. But Jamar Chase, what he's been able to do through 7 games?
Hold on. This discussion that we're shelving for another day, no one knows what you're talking about.
It was shelved.
You have said
We'll do that another day.
you'd rather
Put
have
it in the attic. Put it in the attic.
Fiberglass. I nestled it right under the fiberglass. So that discussion really quick, if you haven't been watching, you haven't been listening. I said I'd rather have Jalen Hurts. It's really quick, Billy. Jalen Hurts over Tua because of the juice factor. And again, now we'll shelve it. We're not going to talk about the juice factor. Juice
factor.
Thank you, Chris.
What is
juice
that?
factor?
What is the juice factor?
Well, Dan, you know when somebody's just playing quarterback, Michael back me up on this. You know when somebody's playing quarterback and they just have a little bit of swag that other people don't have? Kyler Murray, juice. Okay. Jalen Hurts, juice. Tua, not much juice. It's very starchy, very just like corny, very like, robotic. No juice.
You may want to find just a heads up. You may want to find a white guy with juice at that position just to help bolster
the green lizard. The green lizard juice.
There you go.
Right.
Oh, I was so excited. We got green lizard versus green lizard today. That was big.
I know. 95 yards on the ground for the green lizard. Okay. Anyways, that conversation shelved. The conversation I really want to have is Jamar Chase might be the greatest wide receiver of all time based on 7 games. He's got 200 yards in one game against the Ravens. They just absolutely clobbered, the Chargers. And everybody's like, oh, Mike Williams. Oh, my God, Keenan Allen. This is great. Jamar Chase just ran over everybody. Now, if we're doing transitive properties really quick, how does the Bengals loss look to the Bears, right? That's one of their losses that are kind of really bad. All of a sudden, they beat the Ravens, who beat the Chargers, who beat everybody else. Like, Bengals are good. Might be the best team in the AFC.
Probably.
Just saying.
Yeah, we were saying that about the Ravens. We were saying that about the Ravens, even though they've got 3 games that they should have lost before today's game. Chris, if the Dolphins had drafted Herbert and Chase, they would stink, right?
I'm just trying to do the math. If Jamar Chase is Jerry Rice, then Jalen Waddle is like Amani Toomer.
By the way, same thing if they would have traded up and drafted Lamar Jackson, and if they would have drafted T.Y. Hilton. None of them would have worked in Miami.
Yes,
Not a single one of them.
I heard Drew Rosenhaus, who does local Fox Sports every weekend. He was saying today that that Tua. No, what the hell was he saying? Damn,
he was saying they should trade for Watson.
Well said.
Yeah. Well, he also brought up the Matt.
Look at him watching Rosenhaus, little Fox.
He brought up the Matt Ryan thing today. People are just needling us all over the place. He's like, well, actually, Matt Ryan should be a Dolphin. I'm like, we don't need to do this. All right, that was 7 of those ago. I could do my whole life. I could do this game with. We should have drafted this guy. We should have drafted that guy. It's so annoying. Jake Long over Matt Ryan. Jesus.
Matty Ice.
Chargers fan.
That slide rule, by the way, on Heineke was bullshit. Just saying. Don't know if we're going to get to that today.
Oh, no, it was the greatest slide I covered because of that slide. It was the greatest slide in the history.
Nobody touched him.
How did that score there?
I thought it was unfair, but you can't have it both ways. The quarterbacks have so many rules that are in place to protect them. If you give yourself up there, make sure you're crossing the plane. That's the way that the rule is supposed to be called, and they get pretty lucky. I don't know. Kyler Murray is really difficult to defend, but now because of his height, he is drawing so many penalties just because all these gigantic defensive tackles are trying to hit him low, but he's a lot lower than them, so they end up cracking him in the head.
Chris Cody was saying that Greg Gumbel revealed something that was shocking today. I think it's also shocking.
I don't believe it. I'll say it. He said he's never played a video game before.
That's a lie.
You okay?
He's totally lying.
It just
Chris, how are you feeling about your last
Well, how
3
old is
minutes?
he,
Like, is
actually?
it the gummies? Like, how are you feeling about?
Well, I thought the Amani
Okay,
tumor
man, you
joke.
had
I thought
some
the Amani tumor joke was nice.
It was a good pull. Is that
It
a
was
Chargers?
good.
Is that a Chargers blanket on your sofa?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
That's
Actually,
awesome.
actually a
That's
bathing
great.
suit. The bathing suit.
What Chargers bathing suit?
Chargers bathing suit
Where did
from?
that come from?
Amazon, baby. No, I'm kidding.
Bolt
I got
up.
friends. I got friends that know I'm a Chargers fan now, so they're reaching out. You know, it might have come from Izzy Gutierrez. No big deal.
How was
Bathing
your
suit.
bye weekend?
It was fine. I got to, catch up on a lot of other teams. I watched some Dolphins.
Yeah.
Relax.
I'm ready for next week. Big week.
Some of the other teams that don't mean
Greg
anything
Gumbel
to you at all.
75? Sorry. Greg Gumbel 75?
He's super
Never played a
old.
video game.
I tried to Google like what were the popular video games in the 60s, but I couldn't come up with
They
any.
didn't
There
exist.
were none.
Yeah, there
There
were
were none. Pong was the first video game, and it was like invented in the 70s.
I
wasn't it?
believe it now.
The Stick was very popular as a video game in the 1960s. The Stick.
I always thought Greg Gumbel was just 56. Just always. He'd always just be like 56.
It's a testament to the hair dye. Him and Archuleta go see the same
That's not
colorist.
dye.
Arch.
Yeah,
Put
they're
that
seeing
on
the
the
same
wall.
colorist over there.
Chris, you think he's lying? You think that Greg Gumbel is simply
75.
lying?
I would just bet that at some point he's been with a grandkid or a kid. Like I get he's never been into video games. I believe that, but I don't believe he's never had a controller in his hand his entire life.
If Bryant were to say it, I would believe it more than Greg. Greg, I believe, dabbled in video games. Bryant, I don't.
I love when you make those statements with no elaboration. Just
What do you mean?
Like,
Oh,
just-
it's more than obvious. Bryant hasn't even looked at a Kindle. Like, let's be real, okay? He has
Wow.
no time for the apps that read to you Audible or whatever. Bryant's not about any of that. Greg, sometimes he's the loose one. He's the wild Gumbel. Are we going to disagree with that? Everybody knows it. Greg's the wild Gumbel.
Put it on the poll. Is Greg the wild Gumbel at LeBatard show? Mike, can we expose Mina Kimes for being the flightiest giver of gambling advice that you've ever met in your life? Because last week she simply forgot to give us the Ravens. Loved the Ravens and simply forgot. And what happened this week with her and her picks?
That's not true.
So Mina was amazing against the spread last year, and she doesn't really understand the spread. She doesn't pay attention to them. She just picks winners that she thinks will win easily, or dogs she thinks might keep it close, and she just assumes might fall in the number, but she doesn't know the number. And she usually just sends out team names, and then it's for Dan and I to figure out. This morning we got Bears, Raiders, and LA Rams minus 16.5, which was odd because she's never put a number there, but she said Rams.
It wasn't
minus-
Bears. It was Dolphins. It was Dolphins.
No,
Raiders.
she didn't officially give Dolphins. She just had a gut feeling. That was upon you to just decipher what that, but she did give Bears. And I bought out of the Raiders bet once I saw the Waller news, which was poor on me. But I let that as soon as I saw that, I'm like, man, I'm having a bad season picking sides. Gonna lock this in. Rams 16.5. Let's get a boat race going. 3 minutes later, I mean the Lions. I mean, she never sends out spreads. She specifically said Rams minus 16.5. So I thought she was certain about what the spread was in this game. She said Lions. I locked it in. A loss for Mina, but all good for me because I had Lenny Fournette to score the first touchdown in that Bucs game, and that was a massive payday.
That's like one of those professionals you call where half the time they give you one side and half the time they give you the other side. That's
I've
like
got
I've got to stop
Good.
you. Lenny Fournette is not what Leonard Fournette is. Lenny
Totally
Fournette,
different guy.
Uncle
It's
Lenny.
a totally different guy who's not good at football.
No. Playoff. You're not familiar with Playoff Lenny? Playoff Lenny is his nickname because he starts peaking when the postseason comes around. So I always call him Lenny Fournette. and
Lenny
he scored.
Fournette works in accounting. Lenny Fournette is not
I
someone
know.
who
I think
gets
that's
you
Lenny.
50 yards.
No,
Yeah.
Len Fournette works in
Yeah,
accounting. Lenny
Leonard.
Fournette, he's a salesman.
Lenny and Squiggy.
Thank you, Billy. A very strong contribution from you there.
That was for Greg if he's
Laverne and
watching.
Shirley.
Yeah.
Laverne and Shirley
Greg's watching.
reference.
That's for you, Greg.
from
They're
the
missing a big
70s.
marketing opportunity by not drafting a running back named Squiggy, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
What a
saying.
great running back tandem. Lenny
Imagine
and
if they played
Squiggy.
in Green Bay.
I know that Mike likes these expedited replays, but can I wonder if this happens with you guys at all, because the aforementioned Jamar Chase, who is, as you guys said, MVP and not Rookie of the Year, one of the things that's happening in that sport with the athleticism that's nuts is just the impossibility of covering some of these people within the confines of these spaces where they're getting their toes in and the quarterbacks are throwing to very precise spots. But there was a play in the Cincinnati game where Chase is on the sideline with the ball and the defender is knocking the ball and the defender might be out of bounds and Chase might be out of bounds. There might be a foot out of bounds, but the ball is in bounds. And so they have to go to the replay to see all of these things. And every week there's something: is an ankle in, is a shin down, is a knee down. And the microscopic nature of it is bothering me, because it's so they're getting so granular with everything that's happening so fast, and I find it maddening.
But Dan, it's way better now because they have what I've always wanted: just a dude watching the TV saying, "Oh, he's down," lightning quick. We don't have the slow trot to the tent anymore. We have guys bringing out a tablet. The Higbee incompletion from earlier today, while they were trying to sort out the field positioning, they just said, no, back it up. It was incomplete. It was obvious to the eye. The expedited replays are absolutely making this an easier exercise for people like you that always complain about the pace of the game and then trying to decipher if
people like me.
Yeah, because you're always frustrated about a blade
like
of grass being the difference between winning and losing. But this way, it's actually done in a split second, and you're not wasting 10 minutes. So therefore, you're not concentrating on it as much, and the game just moves fluidly. I love what the NFL has done.
Dan, you wanted the eye in the sky. Now they have the eye in the sky. Like, you wanted it. You called for it earlier in the season. They have it now. They do it quicker. And I'm with you, but aren't you just used to it at this point? Like, it's been going on long enough, right?
I am not used to and will not get used to this examination of a guy is this far off the floor, is his butt down before the ball came out. We can't tell on 17 replays, and there are 12 bodies in the middle, and maybe it is and maybe it's not, and we're all trying to examine it at home, and we still don't. There was, I believe, that Atlanta game, I believe the Dolphin game was decided by a fingertip. I believe that ball was actually touched. Was it not? Was the ball not touched by the punt returner, or we still don't know?
I
Still don't know.
I saw a finger move from one angle. I saw that finger move. I'm sticking with
I think
that.
he was bringing it back though.
And then he did this. Remember, don't forget.
And don't forget
was
the game
big.
inches. Right.
Yeah, there was that punt,
It
the
is a game of
Zacchaeus punt that
inches.
might have touched the
Gridiron.
ball, might have touched his cleat. I love that. Oh, you can't sell me on a game of inches and then wuss out when we actually have an inch to fight over.
Yep.
Any given Sunday.
Need that card. Put it on first down.
Is a shin worth how many knees
I
down?
think it's three. I think it's 3 knees.
At least.
Yeah. I'm going over it in my head anytime I see a shin or a calf go down. I'm like, is that a knee or is it 2 knees? Is 2 feet equals 1 knee? 1 knee equals 2 feet, but a shin might be 3 knees.
And the butt equals what?
Butt is everything.
Well,
cheeks.
it depends.
Everything.
A butt is 2 cheeks, but what
One
if
hole.
one cheek gets down? Does one cheek equal 1 shin?
Ooh, which is 3 knees.
But 2 cheeks.
That's 6 knees. 2 shins.
12 cheeks?
Didn't this happen last year in a game?
Yes,
What are you
it's the
talking about?
NFL.
How could you be listening to what
I
we were
think
just
it
talking
did.
about?
I
and
think
saying,
it did.
What
She's
happened?
right. No, she's right. She's right.
There was a butt cheek call. I'll find
Yes.
it. I'll find it.
Okay, yes,
Yeah.
go ahead and
The
It
search.
was
cheek.
one.
it.
It was one cheek, and I think they ruled it out
Yes.
because it was one cheek.
Yes.
But if it was 2, it would have been in.
Right now, I'm Googling the butt cheek game.
NFL butt cheek
Whoa,
game.
do
Be
not let
very
that-
careful.
Positive.
Yeah, that
Not
is
type that
not
in.
what you should have
Dangerous
done.
game,
Yeah,
Chris.
no,
Huh.
that's not. Yeah, no.
Not on the company computer.
Yeah.
Rabbit hole. Now, rabbit hole now.
Who are you totally positive is good? Who are you totally
Oh.
positive? Because you had 7 teams, or did you
Yeah.
have 8 teams in your power rankings? You had, at one point, we had to talk you off of 14 or 15 teams that you said, Stugotz, you would not be surprised if 14 or 15 teams won the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
We got up to 18 in that game.
Yeah.
We know the Bengals are good.
We know the Bengals are good, Dan. We know the Packers are good. We know the
Hold on,
Bills
hold
are
on.
good.
Important update.
Butt
Update.
cheek. Go ahead.
Chris Whittingham just sent me, producing from on his night off, bless him, just sent me a link that says
Oh no, the suspense.
Duh. Say it again.
my Wi-Fi is so bad.
Oh.
Okay.
Say it
Say it
again.
again.
Just say it again.
A Titans touchdown catch turned into an NFL ruling about butt cheeks. Jonnu Smith's touchdown catch and Titans Ravens
pause
answered
up.
an important question about what constitutes a butt. I will
Hmm.
continue
What-
reading and let you know what happened.
What does
in 5
constitute
minutes.
a butt?
Please, what
Two
does
cheeks.
constitute a butt?
Mike,
Two
share your
cheeks.
screen with us. Share your screen, Mike.
Two cheeks and a split down the middle. I can't show this NFL highlight because I don't want to disseminate, but I am looking straight at DeMarco Murray's ass from a game against the Steelers.
Oh, wow.
That's a top 10 ass.
The Bills.
It really is a top 10 ass. I would say a top 5 ass, DeMarco Murray.
Wow.
Be careful. Be careful. Because you're going to have to take out somebody else out of the top 5.
Uh-huh.
Like,
That's
if you
only the
start
Hall of
putting that in
Fame.
the top
I don't
5.
remember a lot of asses, and I remember DeMarco's.
That's a fair point.
Okay. So his left butt cheek landed in bounds, and then his right butt cheek landed out of bounds. And I think
Simultaneously?
it was ruled a catch. So like one butt cheek is one body part, and the other butt cheek is a different body part. So
What
as
is
long
the
as
crack? What is the crack?
That's tough to do.
Like the
Depends if
void.
it's in or out of bounds.
Well,
It
it
is.
can't ever just be a crack.
Really
It has to
gotta-
be a cheek and crack.
Crack
Yeah.
is just air, right? You say it's tough
Yeah.
to do, but
You got to land a certain way. I mean, it's possible, but you know.
you can land on your left cheek and then the right cheek can be out of bounds. But if they land at the same time, you're in trouble. You
Right.
can't have like if a left butt cheek lands in bounds and the right butt cheek at the same time lands out of bounds, are you in bounds or you're out of bounds?
You're out.
You're out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, if
you're
it's
out.
at the same time, then yeah, you would be out. But
Yeah,
if
come
left
on.
butt cheek lands
Ridiculous
in bounds
question.
and then right butt cheek lands out of bounds, then
You're
you're
in.
bounds.
Then you're
Yeah.
in. Then
Because
you're
a
in.
butt
It's a
cheek
shin.
is like having having your elbow down in
Mhm.
bounds,
Two
basically.
knees.
Ooh.
It's
That's
2
right.
it's 2 feet in. Yes. Is that the
Yeah.
rule in college too? Is it the same in college or can
No, you only
just
need
get
one.
one foot.
Yeah.
one
One
butt
foot.
cheek?
Half a
One.
one.
I think
One cheek's
probably half
fine.
a butt cheek.
Half a
then.
butt
Half a
cheek
butt
in
cheek
college.
would count in
Yeah.
college. NFL
Small.
coverage that you can only find here.
Yeah,
Guys,
back
and,
to
and as an answer to my question of
Yes.
who's good, which is
Yes.
what I was asking.
Ah,
Steve.
yeah.
Yeah.
But back to who's good and what I know.
Yeah.
Dan, that's a week to week thing, as you know.
Yes.
So last week, I thought we all thought the Ravens were good, and now after this week, I'm not.
We
so
don't know.
Certain.
We don't know.
But I know the
Yeah.
Titans are good.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Best team in
last
the
week,
AFC,
I
man.
wasn't so sure. I mean,
The-
it's
The
crazy.
Titans that lost to the New York Jets. Yes, they're good. This season's weird. It's going to be
Yeah.
a weird champion this
Wait a
year.
minute.
Yeah.
Tony, how can the Titans be the best team in the AFC?
Well,
You've already
Dan-
said the Bengals are the best team in the AFC.
Well,
There's two, yeah.
they're in different divisions, obviously, but I
Exactly.
mean, look at the resumes, Dan.
Right.
You got the Tennessee Titans on a short week beating the Chiefs and the Bills,
Mhm.
presumably the 2 best teams in the AFC. All of a sudden,
And
no longer.
yeah.
Now the Titans are the best
Crown
team in
them
the AFC,
now.
Yeah.
and the Bengals are hanging around.
Yeah.
Well, Tony, the Bills could be the best team in the AFC. We'll see.
They could be. They very well could be.
Yeah.
I don't think you could be the best team in the NFL if you lost to the Jets. I think it's just an automatic
Just the AFC.
disqualifier.
Just the
Yeah,
AFC.
the AFC.
And since I'm at it, let's go ahead and do this because Stugotz, you've skated so far.
Division
You
by
know how
division?
hard it is to allow Mac
Oh.
Jones to score 50 plus points.
Oh, it's
you know
the
how
worst.
difficult that
The
is.
worst.
300
The worst.
yards.
The worst. Okay. Listen, all the talk of the rookie quarterbacks, and Belichick simply waited there, just waited for his guy. And I think he probably got the best one, or at least he looks like he's going to be the best one of all the guys that were drafted in the first round. Fields looks like a mess. Lance looked like a mess when he got an opportunity. I don't know if Lawrence is any good, in large part because he's playing in Jacksonville. And, of course, Zach Wilson got hurt. I mean, and Mac Jones looks like he's good.
How many turnovers did Fields have today? Was it 5?
5, yeah. 3 picks, 2 fumbles.
Woof. Good God.
That's
Not
that
good.
game speed working out. Yeah.
I thought of that the other days, too.
Stugotz, did Mike White show you something today?
I don't want Mike. Don't get me started. He came in. They were already down by 1 billion points. I mean, they didn't game plan for. Let a team game plan for Mike White and see what Mike White looks like.
I guarantee you next week you're going to get excited about Mike White. It's just a matter of time.
By tomorrow.
Stugotz, Mina sent us today when she was forgetting, how to choose point spreads. She sent us today that she studies rosters. She does a lot of very hard work understanding what's going on in football. She had no idea who the backup quarterback for the New York Jets was. And when he came, because you're always expecting one of these Case Keenums or Chase Daniel or one of these guys that you've heard of. But I feel like we were all like, what, Mike White? What the hell is Mike White doing out there?
So the Jets received a lot of criticism for not having one of those guys to help mentor Zach Wilson. They were criticized by people like me before the season started. I had no idea who the Jets backup was. I was hoping I'd never see the Jets backup this year. And now I'm outraged they didn't have someone like a KG vet to maybe help me win a couple of football games. But I'm not getting excited about Mike White. I'm so tired of this team. I mean, Dolphins and Jet fans should be tired. They should be annoyed. They should be frustrated. They deserve better than this. They really do. 40 years of my life has been spent doing this, getting frustrated and upset every single fall. I'm tired of it.
But this one, though, losing this way, like the Patriots.
That guy and that team and that quarterback, yeah, it sucks.
I told you that I have hated watching the Patriots and the Broncos play this year because you say that he might be good, and I just hate that they don't throw the ball downfield. Like this is one of the issues that I have with Tua, Chris. No matter how good you think that he looks, I'm so tired of just tight ends. They must have targeted the tight ends 20 times today.
That's all he has, though.
The scheme is so frustrating. It feels like we've had different coordinators, but it seems like it's the same Dolphin scheme for like 40 years. It's so annoying.
I mean, that's the best weapon they have on offense, though.
Yeah.
He's getting the ball in the hands of their best weapon. It's not Jalen Waddle. It's arguably the greatest tight end of
Did you guys see his? Did you guys see his Lambo leap into a crowd of one guy who like didn't catch him? Well, he tried to like do that thing, and then he like smacked a kid in the face, and it's like Gesicki. There's a young kid and one guy in this section. This is not the place for a Lambo leap.
I was looking at some of the prop bets before the game, and I saw that Gaskin, their starting running back, rushing yards, 33.5 was the over under.
Oh, that's juicy.
Did it hit?
That's juicy.
Yeah, he had a bunch of yards.
Yeah.
but like, are you kidding me? Like,
nothing like a good 12:30 before football. A little scroll through the props. I'm with you, Dan. I love it. There's nothing better. What do we like here? What's jumping out at us today? Ooh, a little Myles Gaskin. You never know who you're going to end up rooting for on a Sunday.
The prop bets are just fantasy, right? That's all that is. It's you just guessing and enjoying, rooting. You're sitting there watching. You're watching a football game, hoping they keep handing the ball to Gaskin.
Well, what you can't do, Dan, is when you bet a prop bet, you cannot watch the game because you'll drive yourself crazy. So if you have like Gaskin over,
that's fantasy, isn't it?
I can't watch my guy. I struggle to watch my guys play. Like my quarterback, I struggle to watch him play a game. I just do. For me, now everyone else might be different, but for me, I can't watch my fantasy guys play because all I want them to do is get the ball. They don't get the ball, I get frustrated.
Stugotz, you got this wrong. There is nothing more electric than betting props on certain guys. I had Foster Moreau to score an anytime touchdown at plus 300 today.
Let's go!
A big white backup tight end catches it for the Raiders. I'm looking for the back of that jersey to find out if it's Moreau. It cashed, baby.
Yeah. It was a great catch, too.
Oh, big coming out.
Awesome.
I love the receiver props. The receiver props are fun. You find where they're at on the field, pre-snap. Oh, just nothing better.
Pre-snap.
Unless when they don't hit, then
it stinks.
A couple things are better.
Nothing.
Mike, your touchdown bets, how many of them did you make? How many prop bets did you make today?
Dude, I made so many today, but it's okay. I survived Mina's Rams flub because Lenny. Uncle Lenny and Daryl Williams last week. I'm on an absolute heater. In fact, I've been in a group chat where I say if blank scores the first touchdown today, I will jump in the pool fully clothed. I only give one of my picks, the one that I feel best about. A lot of CJ Uzumas have passed, but finally I jumped into the pool fully clothed because playoff Lenny, God bless you.
What was the number on that? What were the odds that you would get on that? I asked on Twitter what odds you would have gotten today if you had said that Derrick Henry would throw more touchdown passes in that game than Mahomes. Obviously, that's not a bet you could make, but I do wonder if that bet
8-1, 8-1 on that one.
No,
8-1. No, not the one that you were talking about, the Derrick Henry. I'm talking about the Lenny Fournette
one.
Yeah, Lenny Fournette to score the first touchdown, 8-1. Brandon Cooks would have been a nice one, Dan. I had that one at 18-1, and the Texans had a couple of chances there to score first. Oh man, I wouldn't be at work tomorrow if Brandon Cooks got that. I swear to God.
Mike, the other bet that Dan was talking about, you agree that somewhere, somehow, someone could make that bet, right? Like it has to be out there somewhere. No,
there's a good chance it's me who's making that bet.
Let me explain something to you. Okay, I would have, if before that game, if you had said to me, everyone on Earth would like to book the bet, Derrick Henry will throw more touchdown passes in this game than Patrick Mahomes, I would have taken all of those bets. I would have been the house on all of those bets. Because are you kidding me? Like, what are you talking about? Derrick Henry's going to throw more touchdown passes in a game than Patrick Mahomes. Like, what are you talking about?
You got to weigh the odds. You got to tempt them not to bet it. But I mean, if you want it, it's out there for you. Right.
You're still up over the span of the career, though. I feel like if you're the house for that obscure bet every week, I feel like you're still in good shape. You lost
Every
this week, but you're looking good. You have a good ratio, like a good win-loss record on that.
It hasn't been posted yet, but I follow this Twitter account, Ertz Break a Tackle, and it's at Zach Ertz Yak. And it's basically, it answers every week, did Zach Ertz break a tackle? It's been nope for about 3 years. Yeah. Now he did break away running what I think is the same speed as a 5-flat 40, but the Texans are just that bad. I don't think that counts as a broken tackle if he somehow pulls away from folks and just running a 5-flat 40 speed. So I'm tuned into this the same way that I was tuned into Scorigami. Did Zach Ertz finally break a tackle?
Billy, what are you doing?
Billy, what are you doing?
Oh, I thought the mic was off. Just a little cleaning keyboard.
What?
You know?
Why so loud? No,
Are you kidding me?
I thought the mic was off. I'm sorry. Back to what we were talking about.
All right,
What
see
were
you
we
guys.
talking about?
It was important. It was Zach Ertz break a tackle. Oh.
3 for
So how
66
about
and a
that?
touchdown.
How about that F1 race, guys?
All right, take us off.
Oh, enough.